Think about your last stalled lift. You probably tried to fix it by adding weight. That habit is why a lot of intermediates get stuck, even while training hard. The best lifters do not force load every session. They change the kind of overload in a clear order. Stay with this and you will get a simple decision system. When to add reps, when to add weight, when to add a set, and the last move most people skip. By the end, you will have one simple rule for choosing your next progression: reps, load, sets, or a harder version of the same lift. There are 4 parts: why forcing load stops working, how you earn the next jump, what to use when weight is the wrong move, and the last switch most people skip. If you're past the beginner phase, one decent session is not permission to add plates next time. That works for a while, then it stops. Once load gets ahead of your control and recovery, the lift changes before the muscle does. You still finish the set, but now you are swinging, cutting the range short, speeding through the hard part, and getting help from anywhere you can. That is the problem with obsessing over load. On paper, it looks like progress. In your body, it often is not. Changing the stressor can keep progress going long after straight weight jumps stall. So stop treating overload like one lever. Use a clear order instead. Reps first, then load, then sets or harder execution when load is the wrong move. When one of your lifts stalls, what do you reach for first without thinking? More weight or more reps? That brings you to the first rule. Have you actually finished the rep range yet? A lot of people hit the top of the target once and load the bar next session. That is the classic mistake. One good top set is not adaptation. If your plan says 8 to 12 reps and you get 12 on set 1, then 10 and 9 after that, you do not own 12 yet. You hit the top once. You do not have it across all sets yet. The reason is simple. Loading too early turns clean reps into rushed reps. The weight goes up, but the target muscle does less of the work. So use a stricter rule. Add load only after you hit the top of the rep range for all working sets with stable form for 2 sessions in a row. That is how you earn the jump. And yes, this works. Lifters who milked reps and sets first kept weekly strength gains going 12 to 16 weeks longer. That's a long time in training terms. It's the difference between a block that keeps moving and one that stalls early. What do you usually do here? Add weight as soon as you touch the top number once, or wait until all sets are there? Drop that in the comments. Now the next layer. Even when you have earned the load jump, load is still not always the smart move. Picture the session where the reps are there, technically, but your sleep has been poor, you're sore all week, bar speed is slowing down, form feels close to breaking down, and recovery is already slipping. In that case, more weight often costs more than it gives. Recovery is part of progression. If that is the bottleneck, add work instead. Keep your RIR target stable, meaning you still finish with about 2 to 3 reps left in the tank.
If adding load would drag your working sets below that, add 1 set before you add weight. Near the top of the rep range, 1 extra set can do as much for growth as a small weight jump. This is where a lot of lifters fool themselves. Grinding feels serious. It looks hardcore. Grinding more does not always produce better progress. Sometimes the better choice is the boring one. 1 more clean set at the same weight, recover from it properly, then do it again next week. If this gave you a cleaner rule than just add weight, hit like, it helps. And it tells me this kind of breakdown is useful. There is one more tool, and a lot of stalled lifters skip it completely. Say you have pushed the reps, you have added the set, volume is already high enough. At that point, forcing more plates often turns the lift into a mess. This is where advanced lifters change the rep itself. You can progress by changing the rep itself. Add a pause in the stretched position. Use a longer range of motion. Lower the weight more slowly, or pick a harder variation of the same lift. Your side delts, the bit that caps the outside of your shoulder, do not care that the dumbbell number went up if you are heaving it with your traps. They care about tension they actually have to control. That is why harder execution works. It changes the demand without needing a heavier load. Your body has to control a tougher version of the same job. For a lot of non-beginners, that keeps progress honest. There is one catch. Do not go here too early. Harder variations are not a shortcut around weak basics. If you still have reps and sets left to earn, use those first. But once load and volume are already in a good place, this is often the move that keeps the target muscle working while joint stress stays lower. The option that looks less hardcore, adding a set or making the rep harder, is often the more advanced choice. The lifter who only adds weight stalls sooner. The lifter who uses the full order keeps moving. If you want more videos like this, subscribe. The goal here is simple: cut through noisy training advice and give you rules you can actually use in the gym. Over your next training block, use the ladder in order. First, stay inside the rep range until all sets are solid twice. Then take the smallest useful load jump. If that would crush form or recovery, add one set instead. If sets are already high enough, keep the load and make the rep harder with a pause, more range, or a slower lowering. Then repeat the same order from that new baseline. That is how you keep progression alive after straight weight jumps stop working. You stop guessing, you stop chasing plates your body is not ready for, and you start planning the stress instead of just reacting to it. The one thing to keep is simple. Progress can come from reps, load, sets, or harder execution too. Earn the load with stable reps first. When load is the wrong move, progress the next stressor in order instead of forcing plates. The best method is simple. Finish the current stress first, then move to the next one in order.